NASL qualification spot opening up. Well, I say opening up. It's about to close because Return to Form and Atlas's Diversified Resume are going to be slugging it out to claim that final spot. And I mean, wow. The path that ADR has taken to get here has been quite the slog, to be sure. Both these teams have had kind of a crazy story to get to this point. So it's going to be awesome to see who manages to make it all the way through in this colossal matchup.
Yeah, crazy to see ADR coming off of some strong performances that we actually got to see yesterday, Lego. But having to go all the way down to the bottom tier of liftoff and then making the losers run all the way up to landing and now at their NASL qualification up against Return to Form, one of the former NASL teams from last season. So already, you know, these guys have their work cut out for them. Hook resets, Leo, Leon, Mop, and Kui, the classics, and we're starting off with an early power play and an early point. Returning to form, trying to secure their NASL spot for the second season in a row.
And take a quick look at what's going on with these team comps here as well. As a twin drive start and everyone went for it over the Timeless Creator. We see the Era X coming out, of course, from ADR. Meanwhile, Moffin on the signature pick. Everyone kind of on their signature picks for the side of RTF, it looks like, for the most part. So I think there's a lot of comfort going around. There's nothing too crazy here in terms of team comps. And on a relatively balanced map, Twin Drive is really the only big factor in this so far. So this is going to be a big play better matchup, I think.
Yeah, well, and when it comes to these guys are playing comfort, which we said was the name of the game for ADR yesterday, I don't think it gets more comfort than running Slick Kicks era midfield. I mean, talk about a pick that hasn't been seen in ages, and certainly, you know, has been outside of the meta. And Slick Kicks is also relatively uncommon, but we saw Twee cooking on the Slick Kicks Luna last night. Wallaby's now on Vambrace X, which is also a rarer pick, but I think he's going to like it against this Rasmus. What a passing play there. Return to form, setting up the triangle, zigzagging all the way through all three members of ADR, securing a second point. Yeah, I think this is... I think any game with ADR in it is bound to be interesting. These guys just have fascinating game philosophies.
And right now, ADR looking a little bit rough in this first set. Both barriers down now, up against set point. General Twee just coming back alive here, but all the momentum right now for RTF. They do manage to stagger Leo Leon, but he's still pushing up aggressively. He's still playing the offense, and a nice dash into passive. That'll be enough to secure the point. RTF, like a quick first set there, 3-0. As we get into this first draft, Leo Leon going to get the first pick here. So we see Primetime showing up, Fight or Flight as well. And the first spark of the game, as well as some damage. So looks like it will be a Fight or Flight pickup, though, for this Zentaro.
Yeah, I mean, Fight or Flight is solid enough on its own, being Slick Kicks too, but we also have that Fight or Flight Twin Drive Mini Exodia. You know, Borg was one of the first to really point it out in, you know, the higher level play, but people have known about it for a while. And on Zentaro in particular, you get to use it a lot, because this dude's always either staggering people or getting staggered. The rest of the draft is not too remarkable. Era and X both picking up their Scaling Awakenings, and Hook resets trying to get an early adoption on Sparks. Definitely ADR seems to be aiming for the classic Era X scale all the way to a hopeful set 4, and then run it the rest of the way out. But it is going to be a serious test of their mettle to see if they can survive up to that point, because Leo Leon is putting out numbers right now. This dude is a whole level above the rest of the lobby and continuing to rule it.
Yeah, it's been some pretty solid core work from that forward duo from RTF. Right now, though, ADR finally getting some barriers of their own here. Going to open up RTF's side of the field. A nice death touch from Moffin to save the goal, and now up to Leo Leon. Dran going to core flip it out of there. Wallaby popping the X Maximus, going to look to receive the core. Nice whiplash, clears it out. Back to Leo Leon. Look, resets, positioning on the top side, a dash down into a strike. That's going to open up the other side as RTF pushing hard the Juno Slime from hook resets will sink it to the top. And RTF score once again, now 4 in a row. They are not relenting on the points coming through. See if ADR is able to find a way out of this.
Yeah, already, you know, Leo was formidable last set, but look at this dude. He's finding random KOs with secondary into flip, and if you think that he just wasted his secondary, no, he's about to get staggered in about 0.3 seconds and get both of those charges of secondary back. He's getting so much value out of every button and getting so many buttons off of that fight or flight as well. And Wallaby, despite having Vambrace, is off the map again. It is a constant power play for RTF, passes in front of the net. It is picture-perfect play, and another 2-point lead in set 2.
Yeah, they're getting this setup, this look, quite a lot, RTF. When they're able to get that power play, you have hook resets on the top, Leo on the bottom, and there just isn't enough to cover an open goal with Atlas and Era. Even if you have the speed boost up, there just aren't enough options when they're just constantly able to move it around and all the Zentaro tricks you can do. But now ADR gonna get the first open goal here. Wallaby in a position to score. A nice death touch from Moffin. Yoinks it out of the net, though, and keeps it alive. Core flip here from Leo Leon to send it back up the field as RTF look to convert to some offense of their own, dashing in, taking a lot of damage for his efforts, though. Managed to steal the goalie orb, and he should be fine, but gets knocked into the goo, though hook resets able to bring down one barrier. General Tweed taking over the core and pushing it back to Mothman to send it back around. Wallaby walking up with the X Maximus. That's Leo Leon down, and a much needed power play for ADR. Moffin with the combo makes it even 2-2 with the kill onto the X. And now hook resets looking for that barrier, just barely able to scrape it. And now both sides are opened up. 2 seconds till Wallaby is back online, and now it's 3v3. General Tweed pushing up to the top side. The Juno Slime, though, able to steal it away. Gets it up to Leo Leon in the top corner. A pass down to hook resets. Passes it right back up to Leo Leon. Slips away just a bit, but Moffin sends it back in. Now a pass up to Wallaby. But a death touch once again from Moffin. He does not slouch on these to yoink it back and send it over to the forwards. General Tweed, though, looking to push up and start some passing plays of their own from ADR. Strand sends it back in. Wallaby not quite able to get a hold of the core here as this hook resets with the core flip available, pushing up. Leo Leon standing in front of the net here, going to receive the pass, gets hit by the Expanse, still has the core available. His core flip comes first from Dran. Moffin quick to defend, though. Hook resets in the top corner, a bounce into a slime. That'll be enough, doesn't even need the core flip, and that's RTF. Take it another set, 3-0. That's 2 in a row.
Yeah, we've seen this situation before against Era X's. It's usually pretty easy to dominate the early 2 sets against them. This will be the deciding draft to see if ADR can stay in it. There's a lot of fantastic stuff on the board for both Era and X here. Some nice haste awakenings that might make it down to Era. And Leo is actually going for reverb over Super Surge and Explosive Entrance. I would imagine that that's more of a deny of survivability away from the enemy team. And it'll actually be Ad Rush picked up by General Tweet. Okay, so this signals to me this is a Hail Mary right here. If you're dropping Ad Rush on your Era, you are hoping to get such a ridiculous chain of Era-nados that you're able to somehow swing a set. And you know what? There's a non-zero chance of that happening, but I wouldn't hold your breath too hard. But we'll see if ADR can make miracles happen as they're on the verge of potentially losing this first game.
ADR in kind of miracle mode. They did not get the scaling that they needed to stay in this one, and it's starting to really show. Wallaby already losing that recovery drone now. They'll get the big orb, but just not dealing any damage at all. Leo just stays alive with the extra stagger. Both of the forwards have, pretty noticeable amount of extra stagger plus the fighter flight. Like, it's going to be so hard to kill these guys consistently, and they just are kind of dominating the core control game regardless. Core flip's getting traded here in front of the barrier. Hook resets, opens the goal. Now it's another rough situation here as Leo Leon in the top corner will get cleared out by Dran, as Moffin, though, pushing up the midfield to send it back into the forwards. A jump from Hook resets will get the mid-air strike and find the top of the net, though. RTF finds another one.
Yeah, it's so hard. I mean, we're seeing live right now the reason that I think less so that Era X dropped out of favor and more so that just Era in general dropped out. General Twee is struggling so much to be able to find possession in this game because Hook and Leo just have way more mobility. As soon as that Era secondary is gone, Twee is out in the open with nothing else to catch these massive vertical rotations. And it shows. It shows the possession is almost never swinging in the favor of ADR, and the barriers are constantly dropping on their side of the field. It's a shame to watch, but I'm hopeful. Okay, you know what? If Leo kills himself, they have a shot.
Yeah, dash to the wrong side. Oh. Well, never mind. It's just going to slide right in there. Off of that clear. Yeah, perfect shot from Boffin, I guess. So you can slide it right in. A bit reminiscent of that first point we saw in this game where it just barely was out of Dran's strike box. There's been a few of those, but... yeah, I mean, even with the power play, it seems like ADR is struggling to really get this past. We've seen a few times where shots should have gone into the goal, but Moffin just is able to hook it out of there. That's the one really cool thing about Rasmus goalie that other goalies can't do, is if a shot gets past you, you can actually just pull it back. No one else can really do that. But now ADR has the goal open and a barrier remaining. See if they can get the core past the forwards here. A little bit of a missed dash from Leo, but easy to recover. So they'll keep the core up for RTF. The Slimes doing good work here in the midfield as Hook resets the core, attacking the bottom corner. Leo looking for an angle to the top side, but a core flip from Dran will buy them a little bit of time. Doesn't get very far. Meanwhile, Moffin was just fighting Wallaby and got the KO. Now it's just another power play for RTF. A quick little dash from Leo, and that's going to be game one. RTF getting it done here on Clarion Test Chamber and saying, bring us to game two.
I mean, that was far from a lack of knowledge of how to play Era X on the side of ADR, right? We saw there, right, that last point, Wallaby and Twee, they got the core exactly where they wanted it to be. They held possession perfectly. They had the Era NATO funneling in from the back to grab the barrier. That was not the problem. It was the fact that they didn't get enough of those opportunities. Leo and Hook resets, rotating the core. Well, and honestly, Moffin. We haven't shouted out Moffin enough this game, because he was also a massive part of why RTF was able to so effectively move the core around that game. They constantly had their triangle up. They were willing to back pass it. They were willing to zigzag it around. They were willing to spin flips on the back line to go for crazy passing plays. It was just very evident that that there's a reason that these guys were in NASL last season, and they are freaking gunning for that spot again. It's going to take ADR hopping into the locker room right now, switching things up as we move into game two to keep their hopes in it for the North American Strikers League.
Yeah, going out in a 9-0 like that is definitely not how you want to end game one as ADR. But moving over to Demon Days, it's extra special. Timeless Creator is the start. Happy Star starts always leave the door open for some crazy things to happen. So I feel like we haven't seen Vice all that much recently, but I'm also maybe just out of the loop. This could be the perfect opportunity for someone to pull that out on goalie or midfield and just kind of swing for the fences, especially in the case if you're ADR, like if you lose this game, you're going to be out no matter what. So maybe it's worth taking a risk. But Timeless Creator as well. A lot of neat options here on the table as we get into this draft.
Yeah, definitely the Finny and the Luna from General Twee are looking pretty dang scary. I think that I think Twee also has a Vice. Like, this dude kind of has the triple threat.
Apparently Hook Reset has been picking Vice.
Hook, okay, that's right. Yeah, Hook does have a Vice. I forgot about that.
Word is in. So that is a high possibility. But yeah, like you said, Finny is always really good on this map, and with Timeless Start or Extra Special Start, both really, both really are kind of nuts for that combo. So yeah, there's a lot of ways this could go. I imagine Moffin's just gonna play Rasmus goalie again, so it's not a great start for Rasmus goalie, but it's a good map for it. So it's
you're never going to be upset.
Yeah, I'm not worried about that
on this map. Well, and Extra Special is honestly like that is a pretty good Rasmus Awakening, especially on this map.
Kickoff,
because you're also usually using it to kill confirm.
Oh, that's true.
because you're just hooking people into any other ability to kill. So having more kill confirms is really valuable. Yeah, I'm predicting that as well. I think it would be a smart move by ADR to ban out that Rasmus, especially because uh, I don't know that any of them would be willing to pick it. Maybe Wallaby, but I definitely think that Moffin on the Rasmus is a really scary prospect on Demon Days that you don't want to
Yeah.
see if you're ADR.
And especially last time they did ban Kazan got banned. Actually, I think ADR might have banned. I actually don't, or RTF might have banned. I don't remember. Someone banned Kazan. But this is a
I
bad
believe
Kazan
ADR
start.
was banning
So
Kazan, yeah.
okay, yeah.
Which is also a
But
bit of a ban on Leo.
yeah,
He was
it's a
also a big
decent ban
Kazan.
overall. But I don't know if we'll see that get banned this game. We could see Mako come out, honestly.
Oh yeah, this is a
Um,
terrible Kazan start.
yeah, this is terrible.
Nobody's playing Kazan here,
But it will be a
unless
Finny ban coming out
you just
first
love
here
the
from
Kazan.
ADR though. So no surprise
From
there.
ADR.
Yeah, ADR is going to
Okay,
ban the
yeah,
Finny. They don't
sniping
want
the
the first pick.
Moffin Finny. Okay,
And then RTF ban
interesting.
Luna. So there you go.
And then okay, they're taking the Rasmus. So
Yeah,
this
they're
must
going to
be.
steal it.
Is this Dran or Wallaby on the Rasmus? I don't know if Dran has a Rasmus
I
goalie or not.
I'm gonna guess that Wallaby's gonna pick Asher on the.
That seems
I
likely,
think
yeah.
on extra special start. I think I think you want Asher, right? Or X, one of the
Or
two.
X. Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Um, there's a Zentaro for RTF,
There's
as
also
expected. They don't want that to get sniped away.
there's also an IME angle here for RTF. You could put hook resets on the IME. That would be pretty good. Um, trying to think what else hook. I mean, yeah, we already mentioned the Vice. I think there's a very real possibility that hook rips out the Vice here. I don't know what
Yeah.
ADR
Oh, it's a
is
rune. We got a rune
gonna
pick.
play.
We got a rune pick from RTF here, so
Oh,
that's probably
that's
hook.
probably hook. Yeah.
Yeah, extra special or timeless, probably extra special, right? Extra banished.
Yeah, yeah. I
You
think
can kind of
extra
go either
special is
way,
a
but I
little
think
too
extra
good.
special.
It's weird, right? Because so when people like first started talking Demon Days theory, there was like a lot of talk about like, oh, Rune is gonna be like absolutely disgusting on this map. You know, he can lock down a whole side of the barrier. You just stick the core behind the barrier, and then he puts the pillar there, and it's so chill. Um, that like very quickly fell out of favor because people realized that you could just stand where the Rune wants to place pillars. He's not that much of a threat. But maybe it's shifted back because I know that Rune is in a much different position from where he's been in a while. He's not as strong as he was like a couple patches ago, but he's definitely still pretty good. So there's a chance that the Rune is actually a pretty strong pickup here, and that is the Kazan.
Yep,
I said that
that
no
is
one would
the
ever play
Kazan.
Kazan on this start. But Moffin Kui is here to tell me otherwise.
Yeah, I don't think Muffin cares about the starting awakenings. To be honest, I think one you got. I think that's kind of a gross forward combo that they got with the Zen rune here, especially because it's was that Rasmus Juno is going to be the forwards for ADR. I feel like ADR is playing this one pretty safely. Like this is just kind of hey, let's hit core, I guess. I don't know. It doesn't feel like as wild as I might have expected it to be. Whereas RTF is doing something insane, but we knowing the players that are on this team, it looks we know that they're going to execute it well, and it's like oh wow, the implications of Zentaro Rune and Kazan goalie might be kind of disgusting on this map. So we're going to see if ADR can make the comeback here. Everyone's going extra special. No timeless creators at all. Wallaby on the vicious van brace. Rasmus there on the forward spot. Everyone else pretty much just playing what we assume them to normally play as we get into game 2 here for the final NASL qualifier spot.
Yeah, Leo might be off to Leoning once more. Hook might be resetting again. These guys are good at what they do. What can I say? The transition from offense to defense and vice versa is just so seamless for RTF. It seems like every time the core floats back to Moffin, it's immediately like cleared past, and then like Leo makes a run up the field with it. Both of their forwards are on the mag souls, so featuring very, very nice with the classic Demon Days pick. I haven't yet seen the Vicious Vambrace pick up payout for Wallaby. Maybe, though, on Demon Days, and especially on somebody like Rasmus who can maybe obtain the core and be a little more self-sufficient, we'll see it pay out. For now, though, it's just RTF grabbing an early 0.1, Leo trading flips there with Dran to secure a 1-point lead.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure how ADR wins this game. I feel like RTF just have like every advantage kind of in the book going into this. And what we're gonna see though, if they can make the upset happen, it would definitely be cool to see. But right now, RTF up 1 point, holding on to one more barrier, and we've seen them dish out quite a bit of damage so far in just these first 2 points. Haven't gotten any KOs yet, but it's a thing that can happen as well, especially on this map. There's the double or the single banish coming out. Wallaby getting absolutely melted. No energy either. They're hunting for the KO. There's Leo with a slice into the pillar at a right angle, getting the perfect angle to bounce him off the ledge. And now it's a power play here for RTF. General Tree trying to make it clear. Moffin, unfortunately, will lose to the Blobbo, and that's going to be an open goal, but Hook resets with the flip. Will get a barrier now of his own. Drops the banish. There's the pillar. Dran looking to rotate to the top side. Can't hold on to the core for just long enough. General Tweak jumping in. Wallaby looking to position in a scoring spot, but the core getting cleared out now. As Hook resets and Leo Leon pinstering around these barriers. Nice clear here from General Twee off of the teleport from Hook. It's Leo. The dribble, looking for this barrier. There's a core flip, goes for the dash to try and get it around. The expanse blocks it once, but not twice. Gets banished by Hook, who receives the rebound and just sinks it right in. RTF bring it to set point.
So I've thought of one win condition that ADR has, and it's Juno core speed. Core speed would be crazy valuable against the comp that RTF is running, because Rune definitely can't respond to core speed. A brawler is never going to really be able to respond to core speed very well, so don't even like factor Leo into the equation. And then over time, it's going to weather down Moffin's cooldowns. So if they can get General Twee a pretty ridiculous build that can give him some core speed, and then get Dran enough defensive awakenings to make it to overtime, where that core speed will really shine, ADR is not completely at a loss here. They definitely still have a chance. It is just going to be a seriously uphill battle. But for now, they're making progress. They have both the barriers down on the enemy side.
RTF did get a little bit punished there when Moffin made pretty aggressive play. Wallaby not quite able to make contact with the death touch, though. Core flip here from Leo. Dash to the bottom side. It gets right around the expanse from Dran. Oh, it despawned just a moment too early. And RTF will be able to take set one. Another 3-0. They've scored 12 points in a row at this point in the series. It's not looking great now as we get into this first draft. Leo, once again, the MVP.
I also just realized that Dran opted for extra special over timeless. There's that timeless pickup. He's gonna make good on the decision. Pick the other starting awakening now. Yeah, the extra special obviously playing around the idea that maybe you want to prevent more KOs, but it's not panning out for now. And this is a pretty nasty draft as far as things go. Moffin getting more size, Leo getting heavy impact, Hook getting rapid fire. Like, those are three incredibly solid picks from the side of RTF, and it denies away the size from Wallaby, who's stuck with Deadeye. Really, the one boon that ADR has is that General Twee has started sparking. If he can get that spark of strength, like I said, the core speed is the path to victory for ADR. It's going to be hard, though. Their barriers are down.
Yeah, Banish now coming out onto Wallaby here as Leo setting up in that top corner. Dran able to make the clear. Now Hook resets, brings it to the bottom side. Leo still hovering in place. It'll get passed out, but Moffin right there to send it back in. The pillar getting set up, and Dran, no cooldowns to fight it. just gets sent right back through him, and RTF make it 1-0 in set 2.
Yeah, they're cooking. I mean, the XP difference tells the story, right? Dran is just constantly getting moved around by Leo and Hook, is not even really getting to touch the core all that much. And so Moffin actually has Dran beat in the XP department, which is kind of crazy. That might also be from a kill. I don't know if Moffin contributed to a kill or something earlier, but Leo Leon is rocking 5 levels, 1 to 2 above all of the members of ADR for the time being. And once more, Wallaby, despite having Vicious Vambrace, is on the verge of dying at all times. This extra special Atlas ult is, weirdly enough, coming in handy to keep this guy alive.
Yeah, he's just not really able to dish out enough damage to really heal up at all. A little bit of a lucky break there for ADR as the core just barely misses their barrier, but still stuck on the defense now. Hook resets, sends it back around the barriers once again. Leo Leon able to pick it up and open the goal. Slime's coming out here from General Twee on the defense, but the relentless shots from RTF continue to rain down as Hook resets with the core, sets up on the bottom side. The Zen ult from Leo, but it is cleared out. Both sides now opened up. Moffin to Hook resets, wins the strike war, brings it to the corner. Now Leo on the top side, a pass down. Dran makes the clear, but Hook resets able to recover. Now Leo on the top side with the dash from the dribble. And RTF bring it to set point again.
They're chugging along. I think there is nothing that's going to stop them this set. I think we can pretty safely say set 2 going to RTF here. Double banish comes out. General Twee almost knocked off. Atlas ult does come out, heal them back up. They do have a flip. They technically have a slight barrier advantage right now. So I mean, ADR, they're not making progress. It just is looking dire at all times. I mean, once it gets behind this barrier, Hook resets and Leo Leon are just cutting off all possible options out. It looks like it just never, ever gets cleared. But a nice sequence of strike wars. It eventually gets cleared, but Moffin is just there to send it right back in. But a power play could be just what they need, as their barriers do unfortunately go down along with it.
See if they can make something happen here. Wallaby in the top side. General Twee looking for the barrier. Moffin stops it with the top spin, and now Leo Leon right back online. The banish comes out onto Wallaby. Used defensively there as Moffin just looking for a clear angle, but still holding onto the barrier. Core flip from Wallaby changes that, though. Now both sides opened up. Core flip burnt here as well by Moffin as we head into overtime. Dran trading one as well. Hook resets, brings it to the top corner. The Slimes are waiting. They get it past Leo Leon. Now back to Hook resets. Pass up to Leo. Working their way up the field. Not able to find much. He gets rotated back around. Nice strike war win from Hook reset. Sends it in, but Dran makes the clear. Hook resets, though. Going to have another opportunity here with Leo. Another nice clear from Dran. Gets back to Moffin. A pass to Leo. Looking for the slice and dice. Wallaby breaks that up and brings it to the bottom side. The Slime's coming out here from General Twee. They're not close enough to make anything happen just yet. A shot from Wallaby to the bottom, but it's crooked leverage to make the save. General Twee setting up from Slimes, but core flip here from Hook resets to the top. Astral projection saves it. Now Leo Leon in the top corner. Hook resets with a banish onto the goalie. A pass up to Leo, but Dran getting out just in time. Hook resets making this, or not Hook resets, General Twee making the save with the Slime, but the pressure continuing to mount in this top corner. Not able to find just anything, though. And we'll get back out to the neutral zone. Now Moffin on the defense. Wallaby bring it to the top corner here, but Leo staying on his man and not letting any play develop. Zen ult coming out on the top side. A perfect banish from Hook reset. Keeps Dran where he's standing. And RTF win 2 sets now in a row. Leo, the MVP again. And they are looking to make this series a complete sweep.
Yeah, Stagger Swagger showing up here shuts off a lot of the remaining routes to victory for ADR. That's probably... Okay, Leo takes stacks here. I guess he hasn't been dying. So yeah, stacks on stacks is probably really chill. More size on Moffin means no size on Wallaby still. He'll be opting for specialized training. That is an extra special spec training Deadeye Rasmus. That dude's hook does hurt. But we'll see if he can actually manage to make some plays with it. General Twee did get 2 sparks there. So that was not a fruitless draft for ADR. They do have some interesting builds up and running. But extra special rapid fire stagger swagger on hook resets is pretty nasty, and obviously Leo has a pretty cracked Centauro build as well. So again, still looking dire, but Wallaby's kill potential did just go up. So maybe we'll see some more power plays come out. Maybe ADR is able to punch the one last little hole in their ticket, take us to a game 3, and get one more shot at NASL.
Now, will it be enough, though? Wallaby, or not Wallaby, hook resets opening up the goal there with the pillar. Now Leo in the top corner with the flip, gonna burn it, gets stalled out, not able to find much on that. But now hook resets and Moffin making some passing plays in the backfield, looking to get it back up past this midfield arc. But General Twee opens up RTF's side of the field, jumping in with the slimes. Great save from Moffin, gets a bunch of blobos there. And they get it back out to the midfield. Core flip here from Dran to clear it out. Moffin able to make a save. Core flip from General Twee, blocked by the pillar from Hook. And now another nice pillar from Hook in the bottom corner. Blocks the rebound of that bumper. And RTF score again in set 3. 2 points away from getting back to NASL.
Yeah, every time that Dran and Twee are able to clear it out, hook resets and Leo just swarm the midfield line with their mag souls, and it feels impossible to ever actually mount an offense against Moffin. Showcasing exactly how good these guys are at constantly having control of the map and the awareness to exploit it. Leo just makes a secondary dash in. That's a 20-second point for RTF. Now on series point, qualification point, RTF about to take the train all the way up to the big leagues for the 2nd season in a row.
And off to a quick start there. Immediately getting a barrier off of the kickoff. A core flip here from Hook resets. Blocked by the Expanse. Wallaby desperately trying to get something. Burns a flip for one barrier. They need a little bit more to stay in this one. They're in full reverse sweep mode for ADR. They do open up the goal first. General Twee rotates the top side. A death touch coming in, but nothing gets past Moffin. A perfect strike war gets it out of there. Now a banish onto Wallaby. Takes loads of damage from the pillar and now stuck in the top corner defensively here. Zendel coming out from Leo Leon. Has a flip available. Gonna burn it for the second barrier. Doesn't get it though. Goes for the bounce. They'll get it on the rebound though. And now a pillar in the top side looking for the dash. And that is wraps. Leo Leon. Hook resets and Moffin Kui will be returning to the North American Strikers League for Season 6. Returning to form in a perfect sweep for that qualifier spot.
18-0 series?
That was an 18-0 series. ADR was not able to score a single point on Moffin. That's crazy. Wow.
That's about as good as it gets. And yeah, RTF has proven once more why they belong up in the big leagues. One of my favorite teams from last season of NASL. They were a joy to watch, and I'm going to look forward to seeing them back on the Core Strike fields, competing for... I'm hoping, after such a stellar performance that we just saw right there, that we're going to see RTF vying for the championship spot in this upcoming season. Lego, any other thoughts, predictions on what we just saw? What is to come? Another exciting season of NASL about to kick off in the near future.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good one. They're always gonna be good ones, but yeah, you gotta admire RTF getting back in. That is all the matches that we have for tonight. There's gonna be a little post show after this. That's gonna be more actually talking about, I think, the teams and whatnot. So I'll save my opinions for that. Not that I'm on that, but yeah. You have anything else to say, Cloak, before we dip out of here?
No, I think we've covered it all.
Yeah.
Looking forward to the next season of NASL. Stick around for the post show. And of course, after that, have a wonderful night. But for now, stay tuned.
Good night.
Hello, everyone. It's been a very long 2 days. Honestly, today was pretty short. Thank some teams for 2-0ing for us. But it's been a pretty long 2 days overall. We went through all of the liftoff bracket, which you see on the right of me here, and we also have gone through landing, and we figured out which teams are North American Strikers League now. And we have 3 players from those teams joining us today. We have the most decorated caster of the North American Strikers League also joining us today. And first off, any thoughts on what happened in liftoff? Because there was some crazy stuff that happened.
I love Starbreakers.
But you go first. You go first.
I think Starbreakers had like a sick run. They beat Ballin' Ballers today. Yesterday they beat a lot of good teams as like a lower seed. Really happy to see that. It was also really cool seeing like Flying Blobos perform so well. They looked really good. And Polar Cortex also had an insane day too. Yeah, just really cool teams, really cool games.
Oh, as someone who played in it, I think hopefully for the viewers it was really fun. It was definitely a little stressful to play in it for sure, especially liftoff, the whole 9-hour grind to get all the way there. That was a bit stressful. A lot of really good teams. I think this season, I know everyone says that every season, but like I feel like this one, like there's always strong teams, but there's just so many teams that I feel like if NASL had 15 teams, we'd have 15 NASL level teams. Like, there's a lot of teams that are just really high level right now. I think some to note that didn't make it. Polar obviously falling just a little bit short, but looking incredibly good. Flying Blobos obviously looking incredibly good as well. HMG, ADR, all these teams I think just kind of feeling like they're stepping a cut above the rest so far. But NASL's competitive, man. It's hard to get in, and they just sadly couldn't get it this season.
I think it means that NASA is going to be super competitive.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And it has been in the past, but it keeps getting more competitive. NASA has kind of like over the last couple seasons, it feels like it's leveled out a little bit. It's definitely gotten more competitive, but I think it's like leveled out more. But NASA, I think just every season keeps getting like way, way stronger.
All right.
Yeah, I want to say.
My bad.
I'm going. My turn. I haven't talked yet.
We got a lot of people on the desk.
Yeah, we got a whole 5 people. That's a big number. I was pretty excited to see, like, there's a lot of new teams that I thought were super close to making it. Like, when Flying Blobos 2-0 Bun Bun in the morning, I was like, oh god, Bun Bun, no. But I was also like, yeah, Flying Blobos, yeah. Like Dragon Slayers, like another team that I really thought could have taken it, but yeah, and I'm very proud to say PPL's in. Love those guys. Been watching them like slowly but surely make their way back into NASL, and here we are. After like however many seasons it was, I can't count that high.
5.
I think it's like 5, yeah.
Like 5,
Beautiful
yeah.
analysis.
They were in season 1, and they're finally back after a very long journey. But I guess since we're already talking about PPL, we can speed on ahead to the fan favorite section where predictions are made. 10 slots for each of you, 10 NASL teams in NASL. Why don't you start us off, Borg? Who do you think is the 10th best NASL team?
10th best. You know, I hate to do it to him, but I mean, it's just got to be Bun Bun Bonanza. You know what I mean? Hitting the 10th seed. I just
True.
faltering a little short today, but managing to clutch it out in the end. I mean, I don't know. These guys have been playing too many fighting games recently. That's my take. But hey, the better they get at fighting games, maybe it'll translate more, you know, over to OS now that it is a bit more in the fighting meta. The Showtime meta is over. I'm not putting them first. I'm telling you guys that right now. But I believe if you guys are, you can knock. I'll give you the underbun buff just to see what happens, because I think it's interesting. When the last time that happened, it got really interesting. So let's see what happens.
Might have to roll swap to goalie.
All right, Liari,
There we go.
getting called out a little bit. What would your selection be for the 10th best team?
I think everyone knows this. If you read Westcord yesterday, I'm putting Wee's Little Bees at 10. I think they approach Flying Blobos really well, and I think where this team could find wins is having good draft prep and good like game plans. We copied their homework a little bit, so thank you. But yeah, I just don't think like they have the mechanics in the hands to compete with the rest of the league.
Yeah, and I will say the one thing that is a correct opinion that is not up for debate is that, unfortunately, I think that we can come to a consensus that Wee's Little Bees has by far the 10th best logo in the North American Strikers League.
I don't even know what it is. Oh, there it
I
is.
can't tell
barely
from
see
here.
that.
That's another 3-person logo, I think. So
Yeah, I mean, it's the same tier as
No,
like
it's
all
got
the
like
three-person
10.
logos.
It's got like
the
10
same
people.
thing.
There's like 10 bees in
there's
there.
10. That's a lot of
Like,
bees.
there's a
Wait,
lot of
Can I
bees.
like give them NASL or Bus logo? Can I just give them that team to them? Because it's way cooler. Like, come on. Hey, DM me if you want it. I'll just give it to you. We need to use the logo somehow.
Right. Well, we'll drop. Any strong opinions on 10th place here?
well, if you're in Westcord, rumor has it that Hook Resets isn't actually playing for Return to Form right now, which means Return to Form is actually 2 people, which I don't know if you've ever played on Mega Strikes. Usually you want 3 to win. So things are looking a little rough for Return to Form this season. So I'm going to have to put them at 10 until they can find another player.
All right. Well, breezy breezy. It's time.
Listen, I can never put my goat Leo at 10th, okay? That's just not happening. So Yeah, I think I'm gonna put the Bs at 10. Unfortunately, sorry guys.
All right, well then 3Z, another one on the board here. Number 9.
Oh, number 9. This is interesting. This is very interesting. Hmm. um. What if? Okay. Um. I'm gonna go with PPL. I think they have a high ceiling, but I think now that they're in NASL, it's gonna be hard for them at first. We'll see how they can improve. Maybe I should have put them higher, but I think 9 is a good spot for them to start.
All right, well, Drop, you're a bit of a PPL fan. Got any thoughts on that? And got any thoughts on who's the real 9th best team?
Well, let's be clear. I've got PPL. A bit of spoilers for there. They're making playoffs this season. Like they're back in NASL. They're here to win. I can guarantee. I can't guarantee you, but I will guarantee you that actually.
They're getting a
making
win at least this time.
They're getting a win. That's right. But I am gonna drop Weasel Bees at 9. I think. I mean, they've got 2 role swaps, and we has never seen NASL before, so it might there's gonna be a lot of learning throughout the entire season coming with them. But as we saw from Modern Magic, I mean, when you're learning, I mean, it's still very possible to take games. So upsets always available to happen in the North American Strikers League.
All right, well, let's move around a little bit. Liari, who are you looking at for 9th here?
All right. Well, unfortunately, Demons Raw lost Kainu, but now they have some guy named Fudgy Waffles, who was a goalie main last season. I think that team is destined for 9th. Kind of
Ooh.
bad. Putting them there.
Oh wow, I think you made a certain person in the chat very very interested with that answer. But well, that definitely could be the case. Who knows? Because Kainu was playing 2 roles after all. Well, Borg, it's time to accelerate a little bit. Let's get your 9th,
Yeah,
8th,
I'm down to get it in here.
and
Say it again.
well, let's get your 9th, 8th, and 7th.
Okay, I'm down. I'm actually prepped for that. All right, so 9th. As much as I like them, just because I love the underdog story, I will put We's Little Bees. I won't go too crazy on it, but whole point is, I mean, Carmine's a beast, and I think when on their characters is very, very good. I think Zack Smack is a very good player, but I think role swapping to goalie is incredibly hard, especially going into NASL as your first real season, going into goalie. I think there's going to be a little bit of issues there. I hope not, but I mean, that's just what I'm thinking. So put them at 9th. At 8th, I'm going to go with the PP Legends. I think they have really high potential, but I don't know. Whenever I watch this team, it's like I feel like they're either unstoppable or they're just messing around. And I don't know. I just feel really iffy about them. So I'm going to put them at 8th for now. I think they can make playoffs for sure, though. So definitely not counting them out. And then 7th. This is my kickback. This is my kickback for 3Z Breezy here for putting me 10th. Deserved at this point, but you're going 7th, buddy. That's what you get.
You busted.
Hey, you still disrespected. You're supposed to support me. Look.
Listen, my bad, bro.
We're even now.
You, but I can't seat you that high. You know what I mean?
Hey, but we're even now.
All right.
That's all I'm gonna say.
All right.
Well,
I'll take it.
S tier winner, 3Z Breezy. What are you looking at for your 8th and 7th picks here?
Let's see. Number 8. Gonna have to go with. I think it's RTF. Unfortunately, I don't know. Like we don't know who their midfielder is, so I can't put them too high. I thought this team was a playoff team last season. They were like a set off from making playoffs. I'd love to see them make playoffs this season. I just don't know where they wind up. So their ceiling is higher than this, but I think this is like their floor from an 8. And then do you want me to do 7th as well?
Yep.
Okay, 7th. Dude, this is actually where I think. Oh man. as a toss-up because there's a couple role swaps happening. There's a couple new players happening. A lot of these teams have changed around a lot. So I'm actually going to go with Bozo here at 7. I don't know how well they're clicking with Streak so far. But it's gonna be a process. I think their whole game plan kind of revolved around the midfielder, Gret. So with Streak, it's gonna be difficult for them to. It's gonna take a lot of time, a lot of practice for them to kind of rival what they were before. So we'll see how high the Bozos can jump. But I think 7th is their floor.
Bozo Bunch dropped Leto. I know you want to say something. What are you up to, and what are you thinking?
Well, I was thinking about putting Sundubu at 8, but I've decided I'm not going to be that much of a hater as Threezy is. So instead, I'm going to drop some big veterans down here. I'm going to put EKC and Demons Raw at 8 and 7, respectively. We're coming in to a crazy season. Mark my words. No one's ready.
Wow. Okay. Well, it's looking like a drop Leto tier list out here. That's all I'm going to say. But Liari, your turn for the 2 teams that will finish just outside of playoffs.
Right, my 8th place is pretty boring. I think I agree with a decent amount of other folks. Return to form. I don't think there's any like super good midfielders on the market. I think Cook Resets was pretty good. So I'm gonna put them there, and then in 7th place, I think so. This is another team that had some swaps, but only 2 players swapping around. And as a team that role swapped last season, I think it's pretty hard to do that. So I'm gonna put Sad Boys in 7th.
All right. Well, we'll see if that role swap does indeed change things. But if you think about it, is it really that much of a role swap? Dog like Spike, you know?
It's
Anyway.
not.
It's
as
a
much for
half roll
Vaughn,
swap.
but it's more for Caleb than it is for Vaughn. I
That
think.
is true.
Yeah.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
we're heading to playoffs territory, and let's start with you, Drop. Number 6. Which team is going to make it into playoffs, but only by a little bit?
Well, what you need to make it into playoffs is something unique to push your team to victory. And you know what average Alex has over everyone else here? That's right. A spec training W, which is going to push PPL just above Demons Raw. I'm going to put them at 6. Let's go PPL.
Drop. Wait.
Yeah.
Average Alex didn't win spec.
Oh, I thought he did.
He got 2nd
Uh-oh.
place.
Well, we could put Demons Raw at 6 then.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, my bad. I got the stats wrong, but I learned from my mistakes and I could fix them.
He lost in grands and anyway, next. We go next. Threezy Breezy, save us.
Yeah, I don't know. There's 2 Demons Raws on my screen. I'm getting like.
Wait a second. Wait, Drop.
What'd I do? That's not my fault.
No, it is your
That's
fault.
What are you
fault.
doing?
You just put Demons Raw on your list twice, I think. Unless I'm wrong.
No, it's it's chill. We can have Demons Raw twice. You know what?
Which
No,
team is getting
Drop.
kicked from the league?
You gotta pick another team.
Okay. It could just be PPL then. My bad.
Okay.
Okay, let it be known. I'm focusing really hard on my speech right now.
There's
It's
nothing
really
wrong
hard.
with 6th place, guys. There's nothing wrong with 6th place.
Right. Well, Threezy. What's up
Okay.
next?
It's time. Yes, it's time for Demons Raw here at number 6. This is a good spot to put them. I think Fudgy Waffles is good. He always tells me, yeah, Vaughn, Kainu, like I'm like those guys. I'm as good as those guys. That's what he always tells me. So now it's time for him to prove it. Now it's time for him to show me that he is in fact like Kainu, and he can in fact play in Kainu's shoes. So go do it, Fudgy. I believe in you. That's why you're making playoffs. Maybe not the easiest path, but I think you can do it. So
All right, Borg. I'm noticing a certain lack of a certain older team here, but I'm not gonna take any big guesses on where you're gonna place them.
Hey.
What's your number 6?
I actually want to change things up if that's possible, but if not, we'll just put them at 6. I want to put Demons at 8 and PP Legends at 6.
Ooh.
This Gumi
okay.
guy chose to play with his old teammate instead of try something completely different with me. So how dare he? I'm gonna do that instead. Let's just say the Fudgy Gumi team's not the same without me. So we're gonna put them at 8th here. Snake's gonna have to work his ass off to carry that team. So good luck, Snake. I believe in you, bro. Always get it done. PP Legends at 6th for sure. So I'll re-talk about them. Don't believe in them as much, but like I said before, I think they can make playoffs. And I thought about it a little more, and I'm like a huge Fiery fan. I'm a huge Fiery fan, and plus this guy is super cool as a person and as a player. I think he's super creative. So I think they can squeeze a 6th place. There's nothing wrong with 6th.
Well, Liari, you're the only one I can trust with a large quantity of chatting. I got betrayed by Drop earlier. Who do you have finishing outside of the top 4?
All right. So wait, does that mean I'm doing 6th and 5th?
Yes.
Okay. So 6th place, I'll put. Sorry, I'm very conflicted here. I'm gonna put PPL in 6th place as much as I want to put them higher. I think they're a really good team. I think Bloom is a beast. I think they're gonna do really well in a league format. I think qualifiers is kind of where they don't shine. But in a league format, I think they're gonna be sick. And they're gonna have a lot of creative picks that are really fun to watch. And they'll have some like throw games, some little fun ones, but they'll end up in playoffs and they'll do well there. For 5th place, I'll put. I'm gonna be a hater. 3Z Breezy is. I don't know how to continue the sentence. 3Z Breezy is bad. Sundubu is gonna be 5th place. I think they had a really good land performance. Yeah.
I'm washed.
Yeah.
That's fact.
Yeah.
Shape shifting also, like that guy shakes all the time. Grimel is pretty cool though. I like him.
All right. Well, let's rapid fire the 5th places out of the way. Borg,
Yeah.
you first.
We're gonna go with let's put EKC. Actually, no. Actually, I think EKC is gonna perma Smurf. Let's put Showtime.
Whoa.
I'm down for the Showtime fall this season.
Okay. Well, they're easy.
The meta's gonna change in playoffs. Watch. I'm paying Aesop.
All right. This is where I think I have Sad Boys. They're twinning with Demons Raw. They have a new midfielder and a new goalie, I guess, but Vaughn has played goalie before. I await the progress of Caleb's midfield grind. So far, it's looked okay. I need to see some improvement on that end from him. But I think this team will probably end up sneaking into playoffs like they do every season. Go boys!
Well, let's go, Drop. What's happening here? 5th place, quick.
Right. Bun Bun Bonanza. Go Bun Bun.
Will, our biggest
Yeah.
supporter.
All right. Well, let's mix it up a little bit. Let's start from the top. Who's winning? Who's winning, Borg?
Oh, who's winning? Okay, well now my whole flow's messed up here. All right, I gotta rethink about this. I'm gonna put. You know what? Drop Leto. It's a Bozo Bunch sweep this season.
Yeah.
We're putting the Bozo Bunch at number 1. I think Streak is coming back with a vengeance. I think Drop Leto. This guy's a beast.
That's what happened during warm-ups today. But yeah, beast
No,
mode.
those are warm-ups. That was the whole
No,
point.
You're right. Yeah.
Yeah, no. I mean, I think the Bozo Bunch, I think it's going to be a tight season, and you can't wait for my number 2, but hey, that's what I'm thinking. That's what we're going to go with here. On the spot, Bozo Bunch sweep.
All right, Drop. On the spot, who's winning?
All right. Well, I thought about putting myself at first, but once again, it's a Sad Boys sweep. Not in for another season. Sad Boys takes it all.
Wow.
Daring today, aren't we?
Can't despite goats.
All right. Well, 3Z, who's winning?
It's a Sundubu sweep. Put as number 1 for the vibes. For the vibes.
And Liari, who will be the champion of season 6?
This is fucking obvious. It's Bun Bun Bonanza. We're back on our main roles. Do you really think this league's gonna be a challenge? LMAO.
That is true. There was a certain season where Bun Bun was definitely a top 2 team, and they were on their main role. So, well, we got the important part out of the way. The list is basically complete at this point.
Oh yeah, it matters though. The rest matters.
Yeah, the rest does matter. Drop. Who's getting third?
Third? That's such a weird
Yeah,
number.
you didn't expect that
Sai is
one.
bored. Sai is getting
Okay.
bored.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna drop.
Leto.
Okay. Well, Showtime's clearly getting too much hate right now, so I have to put Bozo Punch at 3, so I could save my number 2 for someone else later.
Oh, just say it already. You're putting Showtime at number 2, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm putting Showtime at 2.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, a little disturbing that they didn't get a single number 1 spot, but stats lie, as everyone knows. So
Just do 4 at this point.
just
like,
do
there's
4.
no way to just do 4.
I'm saving that one for later.
Wait, do you even know?
I can't.
Just do 4,
Do you even
man.
know the last team?
Yeah.
Prove it.
Hold on.
There's a certain club missing from the.
Yeah, the Sudobu Strikers, those guys.
What?
I heard they came back after a couple seasons. Good for
Throw
them.
them off.
I don't remember if they have any like important wins recently, but hey, I think they're gonna do pretty good this season.
All right, we can test the hypothesis, okay? Threezy Breezy, where are you putting Errors Kitten Club?
They're going at third.
Damn, he remembered. Borg, where are you putting Errors Kitten Club?
Second. I think they're cooking this season. I'm gonna be honest.
And Liari.
Yeah, I'm also putting EKC at second. I think they finally beat their demons. Sad Boys at LAN. Demons Raw is a whole new team pretty much. EKC is pretty good. I mean, they're gonna get gapped by us. Soren's my dog or whatever the hell. But hey, they're good besides that.
Okay. Well, Liari, do you want to finish your list real quick?
Yeah, sure. Bozo Bunch fourth. I think Streak's a pretty good player, but they're gonna have some trouble adjusting, but they'll look really strong by the end of the season. And then Showtime third. Hyunzu, I'm his mother, so it's gonna be hard for him to deal with me. Joker, I walk him on the daily. Barcode, he's just a melee goalie. Who fucking cares?
You know, some parents are watching the broadcast right now, Liari.
My fault.
All good.
Bestie slot after dark. Has the sun set on the East Coast yet?
Yeah, never let
Oh,
me
it
on the-
certainly
Kind
has.
of.
Pitch black outside. I mean, yeah, look at this, guys. Look at this window. Literally nothing out there.
Okay.
Okay. Well, the Dangle's not going to recover. Borg,
Oh, yeah, it definitely is not.
how are you going to finish
And
out
I'm
your
gonna go
list?
last. I wanna go last.
Okay,
I
if you
wanna
want to go last, Threezy. How are you finishing your
All
list?
right. Showtime at 2, and that means it's Bun Bun at 4th. I put Bun Bun a little high, but I think because they're now on main roll, I think they shoot up. I always know what side their 12 did a few seasons ago in NASL. That guy's a demon. Also, Lilybun's on 20 ping now. That's a bit scary. So yeah, it's a Bun Bun sweep.
You might go.
Oh, that's true, actually. The ping bonus is crazy.
Yeah, she's on 20 ping now. Can I change my
Yeah,
bun bun
her
spot?
first, like one of her first nights back in solo queue, I keyed into her and she was like, it was bad. Me and Bertram were like in call. We were like, what is this? This is some witchcraft happening on the enemy team. It was insane.
All right, well, finally, Borg. What's happening?
All right. So at 4th, I'm gonna go with the Sad Boys at 4th. I think it's a bit of a question mark for a lot of people, but you got to remember it's still the same players, different roles. But I did scrim with them a few times. I was the Phil Brawler, because this Bells guy just was there. He just didn't want to scrim. I'm gonna put him at 4. I think that they can do really well. It depends how well Caleb gets good, but I think when I scrimmed with him, one thing I noticed is that he was literally asking Vaughn, like, he was just talking to Vaughn the whole time about getting better. There was no like team comms, no cared about winning the scrim. It was just like, all right, what did I do wrong there? How do I do this there? Like, what would you do in that case? It was really cool to look at. So he definitely wants to learn and do better. And I'm a big fan and big friend to both of them. And also, I think it would be funny because I saw Vaughn post a screenshot earlier of 3 back-to-back 4th place S tiers, and I thought that was really funny. So if they're gonna get 4th again, boom, there you go. And then third, last but not least, return to form. And I'm not going to elaborate too much. Let's just say I do know who the midfielder is going to be, and I will not be sharing that information.
Oh. Wow. Okay. Well, before we end, there's one shakeup to make to the lists. There is one change that needs to be made here. But before that, the season's coming up. I guess we can start with Drop. Which team are you most excited to face, and why?
I haven't really thought about excited. I know who I'm least excited for. That's Bun Bun. We get walked by those guys every single time. I do not want to play them at all. But if there's a team I'm excited for, down to get my run back on the soon debut strikers. Think about it. We won the first best of 3. You guys won the second. It's time to decide who's really the winner.
Actually, we won 2 best of 3s because there was a reset. So
Wait, that doesn't count. Doesn't count. It's like the same thing. Wait, think about it. We can win in the season, and then we win in playoffs again when we play you guys. There we go. There we go. Then we can decide it.
All right. Well, Threezy, what about you? Which team are you interested in facing?
honestly, so many. If I had to choose one, well, honestly, it's probably Showtime, just because I respect them the most. But if it wasn't Showtime, it would be Demon's Raw. Playing against this Fudgy guy again is gonna be fun. I always like playing against him. And also, Yumi and Snake too. So yeah, looking forward to playing against Demon's Raw, and then also Showtime because I want to beat them.
All right, Liari, which team are you most interested to face?
Most interested? Well, we have a lifetime 1-set win against Showtime since Shionzu joined the league, except for when they had Zayn for one of our games against them. So I want to beat that team. And I will also say EKC because I don't think we beat them since like a random weekly a year ago or longer. So also that team.
All right, and before we end, there is one change to make here to everybody's lists. The Sad Boys rebrand, as a lot of people know, has been announced. They are now Hungry Like Nephew. That
Like Spike.
Yo,
Can we get a logo on the stream, or
I was gonna do that and then I failed.
Resilient like Jerry. Sexy cat.
That could have been the name if
I know, it's all good.
but obviously
Hungry like Nephew.
obviously
That's next
Hungry like
season.
Nephew.
yeah.
That's next
Yeah.
season.
Yeah.
Well, thank you everyone for watching another season of Qualifiers. NASL does start in 2 weeks, I believe, so stay tuned. Then you'll see.
I didn't know that.
Oh, really?
Thank you. Yeah,
Okay.
I actually had no clue. So
Wait,
thanks for
when does
telling
it start?
2 weeks, right? Wait.
2 weeks?
Thanks.
Yeah.
Is it 2 weeks?
I don't know. I haven't.
I mean, I thought we had a break for a week.
I have no
Does
clue.
everyone? Anyway, well.
No, we can always come together. No one shows up to NASL. You know,
It's
There we
definitely
go.
not next week. If it's not next week. That's all I know. Anyway, it's okay. Well, Grimella knows. That's enough for the 4 of us. Anyway, so thanks for watching another season of Qualifiers, and well, we'll see you when NASL begins. Thanks everyone, and see ya.